Alright, here we go. This is a ranked 2v2 on Storm between the blue team on the left side. It is SoooHard in the Black Ops Striker and MysticLlama in the Tomcat Striker. And their opponents, the red team on the right side. Or no, sorry, it's the Carbon team on the right side. It is hyepasha in the Black Ops Bomber and ichan in the... Is that a Black Ops Striker? Yeah, I think it is. No, it's an Ultimate Striker. It is an Ultimate Striker, or rather, Super Striker, whatever the shiny Striker is called. I don't really keep up with mech skins nowadays. Let me know, guys, if my my voice sounds okay, because I just changed to a new cheap microphone, a new cheap Amazon Basics condenser microphone. Don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but I'm testing it out for now. But ichan with early harass does not kill any creeps, does not really find any creeps to kill, I think. And just kind of going to try to do whatever he can. Carbon team and blue team are pretty even. Blue team now going to be grabbing their bottom. Carbon going to be grabbing their top very, very close behind. So it's going to be a pretty even game so far. I don't think any team has really lost any units or any significant amount of units. It does look like MysticLlama going to start going for the T99s at bottom. I honestly am not really sure why people go for them besides experience. It's nice, I guess, or if you're eventually planning to do a bottom push and you don't think that the enemy team is going to be paying attention to it, it's a nice thing to be able to have that light unit push down the bottom. And it's really, look, I mean, without the T99s, look how direct it is. The stasis mines were removed because of the invisibility recently. And, oh, actually, the Carbon team really aggressively leapfrogging over here. But MysticLlama going to be able to save the day with a sword. Actually needs to retreat there, really low on health. Getting smashed by all those flackers down by the Carbon team. Carbon team, will they be able to hold here? They're transferring so many units, and the majority of them are flackers. MysticLlama is retreating a lot of the units. So is SoooHard. No, SoooHard coming with flackers. And hyepasha actually getting finished off by the enemy hat over there. And, whoa, that was another kill, but it didn't show up on the kill ticker. SoooHard getting killed over there, I think, by the, you know, the Carbon enemy units. That was kind of a weird bug. Now, we do have MysticLlama with that bottom push of zippers and actually 4 radar guardians, so we can pretty much see the entire map. ichan going to be able to finish off the rest of the blue units in the area, but that bottom outpost will be taken by the blue team, and I would assume... what does MysticLlama have in queue? I would expect AA... no, I don't necessarily from MysticLlama, but for an outpost grab like this, AA is very important because you can distract with your mech, and I for some reason got a last place roll. I really wish I could turn that off. But yeah, I think the blue team will be able to hold here. The Carbon team is actually not pushing their advantage. Okay, the heavy mines go down. They have not actually been able to arm yet. Okay, now finally have been able to arm. The Carbon team doesn't really need to worry about that. They can ferry over pretty easily. They are getting distracted, or they were getting distracted by that bottom right. I guess rightfully so, but I guess they were not really aware of the overwhelming amount of units they have over here, and the ratchet can be put down to neutralize those mines. Or to disarm those mines. A little bit of a drop by the blue team over here. I think those were just zippers sent, and hyepasha dealing with that. A negligible amount of fort damage being dealt there, and the ratchet actually is neutralizing, or disarming the mines, rather. ichan going to be able to kill that lunchbox, and SoooHard with Jackal's going to go for the corner. Actually, corner neutralization needs to drop units and come back with infantry. Oh, and sets them on capture. Okay, there you go. They will focus that. But hyepasha is here. Will he be able to react? No, does not react yet. ichan... going to try to neutralize this bottom outpost, while MysticLlama has nothing to defend except for a Longhorn on the right side of the outpost, rather, and SoooHard capturing that top right Sam infested outpost right there, Sam occupied, and just continuing pressure by putting Jackals down at the bottom, or the back of the fort, and MysticLlama harassing himself. This outpost is not even that defended, honestly. It's 2 T99s at the corner and a Jackal over here. I guess the lunchbox does make it a little bit harder to neutralize, but the Carbon team actually has a decent amount of units on the field. It's 52 to 27. The Carbon team has tons of units. They could probably even push all in right now. All their units are over here on the left side, and even if that all in does not get a finish on the fort, they will dramatically, you know, swing the favor of the game in their, you know, on their side, because at the very least they will be able to get the majority of the fort health, you know, drained, or in the meantime, while the blue team is dealing with that all-in push, they could take the rest of the outposts on the map, or a lot of the outposts on the map. ichan has been able to neutralize and take this top right outpost back. All blue units are finished off, 27 to 50, so the blue team is at a 2-to-1 disadvantage at the current moment, in terms of out upkeep of units out on the field. Wow, what's happening with me today? I haven't cast in a while, guys, so... But anyway, the Carbon team actually has pretty decent control of the entire map, whether they know it or not. It's just this outpost right here. This outpost has barely any defense, and it could be neutralized pretty quickly by the Carbon team. Although the lunchbox does get annoying to deal with. It is just soldiers in the posts right now. And ichan going to be slicing away here. SoooHard, no infantry spam to keep this outpost under their control. And we do have hyepasha dropping. See, these are very meager drops. It's just like 2 tanks. So the Carbon team, even though they have the advantage, and I'm very, very disappointed to see that they're not pressing it on this side, they are not really using it the way that they could. A lot of their tanks are just hanging back like this. They really need to focus on a single outpost. Neutralization would be the #1 priority. And now ichan is actually pulling his outpost back to his units back to the other side of the outpost, which is insane. MysticLlama still able to hold this post with a couple Jackals and only 3 Gemini pushing forward, which is not very hard for a single mech to deal with. 1 Gemini already killed and hyepasha already forced to pull back. Will ichan be able to take this outpost under his control? And even if he does, will he use the position? These units down here are not really even doing anything. I mean, they're just keeping this bottom outpost neutral. But they can move forward, they can take the outpost. They need to be ferried to the other side to prevent the, the blue units and the blue creeps from knocking the outpost back down to neutral, etc., etc. ichan with a couple of jumpers, but no team support by with hyepasha over there, and 2 mechs in MysticLlama and SoooHard actually able to clear the Carbon units down here in the bottom left, which is pretty, like, expected considering the circumstances. hyepasha was not there to aid ichan in that attack, and the number of units that ichan had at one point was very sad compared to the blue mech presence. And MysticLlama going to be able to finish off these Gemini unless hyepasha saves them. There you go. And ichan killing the lunchbox. Blue really needs to start ferrying units to their side, I think, but they have actually been able to take this back. And it's well defended, actually. Now the upkeep. Wow, why do I keep saying outpost instead of upkeep? The upkeep favor is is for the blue team right now. 49 to 44. A couple of units getting dropped by ichan on the left side. Some Sam's getting dropped for defense by SoooHard, who actually only has 2 Blade Guardians down or out, which is pretty much just an oversight on his part. I'm sure he knows he needs to have the 4 or all 4 out, or else you're not really getting your money's worth or your time's worth. And now we do have a rather large infantry push by hyepasha, but getting caught by the striker is not probably... Well, it'll probably get the neutralization, considering the numbers here. Although MysticLlama spamming a little bit of infantry. Will he be able to hold this here? 2 blue team members here to defend, and it does look like they will be able to hold. The outpost might go down neutral, but there are no Carbon units left here for the attack. And SoooHard going to be able to take this bottom left back. ichan still dropping like crazy, but not really using... Like this big clump of units right here needs to be spread out more and utilized a little bit better, I would say. hyepasha bombing, it's really the only thing he can do. Blue team has very firm control of that bottom right now at this point. Surrounded by tanks. Very good tank wall there. And now finally, with the few units he has left, ichan is going for a fort damage drop, or a fort drop, kind of, like just ferrying. This is not even, I don't even know if you can really call that a drop, because it's a short ferry distance. It's so short. I mean, it's basically a push, but he didn't push them, he brought them with his mech. Because it was such a short ferry distance. And actually, these flackers are getting completely hammered by that Goliath and the mechs in the area. So they're level 8 and 7, so the amount of flackers you need to shut those down are way, way higher than early game. And hyepasha actually getting finished off by MysticLlama there in that exchange. ichan lost a ton of his units, and at this point it's 65 to 35. And MysticLlama going to try to snipe whatever he can over here. Actually, the ton of infantry that the Carbon team was massing up, he is going to start to pick those off, is what he was doing. ichan now with a small force right here. It's just hilarious, actually, to see that mid has never been touched, which is really awesome, considering what AirMech normally is, or has been for the last forever. MysticLlama dealing with the bombs decently, although the light units are probably going to get finished off. Now we do have a push to the top left by ichan, going to be supplemented with gangsters. SoooHard is here to defend, but will the neutralization happen? Are the units going to be able to properly focus here? And with all the blue units surrounding now, with all the drops from SoooHard going to go down. And but still, I think the defense has been successful for the most part. I mean, MysticLlama has to come back and help defend, which he is not because he's being distracted by hyepasha and all the bombing over here. But SoooHard has come back and respawned to the field, and all those units have been taken care of by the defensive units dropped down by SoooHard. Great job there. Great job. That was kind of confusing. I got to look at that unit composition that that ichan used. I'm guessing it was a decent amount of AA, and they weren't really focusing the outpost for some reason, although I think he set them to capture, although he might have done a follow move. It's kind of hard to tell with the current spectator UI what's actually happening. But random little drops of like jackals and stuff ticking away at the Carbon team's fort, and really hasn't done you know, a relevant amount of damage. It's just a quarter. The Carbon team doesn't really have anything to worry about, although it's strange to see that they haven't put up a lunchbox yet. That's kind of weird to see. But the bombing continuing by hyepasha, which actually has bit him in the A. The hat getting him finished off in the air, and I'm guessing a lot of focus fire by the mech, which was MysticLlama, I think, at the time. A moneymaker going down the field, which is crazy to see. The Carbon team, actually, the Carbon team's only one outpost behind, I think. Yeah, so it's 4-2. Oh no, 4-2. So it's 2 outposts behind. But the fort has so much. Oh no, outposts do the majority of everything now, I think, except upkeep. And even then, it's still pretty high. So yeah, the Carbon team. I don't see income. There is no income. I forgot to request that. But the Carbon team is actually pretty behind in income right now, for sure, just due to the 2-to-1 outpost disadvantage. Or 1-to-2, however you want to phrase that. And the death push going in right now. 3 Goliaths, and the rest of these blue units here at the front are going to do a, you know, they're going to have an easy time dealing with all these infantry. It's just infantry. The jumpers are not really going to be much of a threat for these blue units, and then the blue team could just set them in a hold position, get the infantry finished off, and then set them back to attack for the fort. I can't say T and Y anymore because there are new keybinds, and I've never memorized them. Never memorized them, guys. Never did. So the blue team is pretty much going to be able to get the finish here. I really do think that the Carbon team had this in the bag during early game. They had this outpost, and they basically had this outpost surrounded, had tons of units, and the blue team had nothing defending. If they went all in at like 4 minutes or so in the game, I think this would have been an easy victory for the Carbon team, but they did not really use their advantage or their position, and that kind of really bit them in the butt, and it allowed the blue team to get the victory over the Carbon team here. So MysticLlama and SoooHard taking this ranked 2v2 victory on Storm over ichan and hyepasha. Neat little game. I mean, if I cared enough, I would just watch that game back again, just to see what exactly went wrong for the Carbon team. I mean, they missed the push at the bottom. They missed the corner grab at the top right. And then I think they let the blue team just kill a lot of their units on the left side of the map. They kind of ignored them. And they just kind of played their direct confrontational battles were just not played as well. But again, they had a huge advantage. They had pretty much the game in the bag. They just needed to use the units that they had, especially the fact that they had them on the opponent's side of the map. That was crazy. So great job, MysticLlama and SoooHard, for, you know, doing what they were able, pulling off what they were able to pull off against that early game humongous disadvantage, in my view. So yeah, guys, send in replays, etc., etc. I don't know. I've done so many casts right now. I say the same stuff over and over. I don't even know what to say anymore. Give me feedback on the microphone. This was an Amazon Basics condenser microphone on super sale. So should I use this one? Should I go back to the headset that I've been using for the last couple months or year or so? I don't know. Don't really care. But your feedback will be appreciated, and I will definitely take it to heart, I guess. Yeah, this is REY, and that is game. See you next time.